morning and welcome to Trade.
Sorry, guys. Looks like we have some technical difficulty. Larry froze up. So, good morning. Welcome to Trading Without Larry. He'll be back, I'm sure. Um, and I'm just waiting to see if there's a freeze glitch. I guess we'll begin. Hope everyone is well. Nasdaq down, S&P down. Looked like we were going to have some momentum yesterday. I was looking for a little momentum, or at least a day where we kind of consolidate. We find ourselves down here. I think the macro may have played a little role here. Oil above $87 a barrel. VIX kind of dead though, so I don't think we're going to have an outsized any kind of day. I know we're down here in the pre-market, looking actually for a little bit of a bounce up from these levels into the trading day. Let's see how it goes. But looking at the tape, everything is down except energy. One stock that keeps rolling along is MPC, and I got at it around 312 on the stock. It's now trading at 320, so not really kicking myself for it, but just waiting for a pullback that doesn't seem to be coming. Energy is flying here. Rates are flying. And I think there was some interesting news out from Japan last night that I thought was interesting. I think Larry's about to join. And
All right, I'm back. I don't know.
How you doing? I was just talking
Dude,
about
touchdown
Japan
T is
last night.
on his last legs, dude. The guy behind me is gone into new pastures. I don't know where.
What
But,
happened? What
who
happened?
knows?
You froze up.
I
You left.
Dude, no, I don't know. Something with my computer. But
What do you make of this Japan thing? The BOJ said they are willing to speed up the rate hikes. You think that's why gold is starting to go up? I didn't really see any movement out of the yen. I know you're following it. Any insights into the
why
yen?
would that make gold go up?
Well, the prospect of stronger yen, weaker dollar.
Dude, the yen is as weak as possible. It's horrendous. It's at the 50-year low.
Are
Or
you looking
50.
to revert that move?
I'm in that position. It's not working. But, I told you what's the more powerful trade here that no one's watching. It's funny. We talked a little last night, and, you were like, I was saying that, and I was like angry yesterday. I was saying the move yesterday was total BS, which it was, and they're completely ignoring the macro picture of what's going on out there. And literally, today you come in and the Nasdaq gives back three quarters almost of the whole move yesterday, pre-open. They got earnings today. Another thing I talked about that I think is important that no one's paying attention to is this AI. I would say 3 months ago, every day, AI this, AI that, AI this. There's no AI, dude. I haven't heard one word about AI except some fake company you brought up the other day. But I haven't heard one word out of Scam Altman, not Sam Altman, Scam Altman, and Anthropic or anyone else doing any type of deals. These guys aren't even going to be able to do the original deals. So I think that this is the next thing coming into play in the market. So, that's that's what I see. And I think that the earnings today are just starting it out, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see an acceleration. I don't see an excitement. I don't see any of it. So, I mean, maybe you do, but I don't see it. So, listen, Google, I think is tonight. I mean, they could somehow, you know, pass the test or whatever because they do so many other things. But I just think the market, you're not paying attention to the macro on top of everything else. And I think the macro here is a big problem. Oil back to $90 a barrel, basically. Thing was 70. Okay. The comments out of Rubio last night were discouraging. I mean, why are we bothering? You know, it just, I don't know how the market's forgiven. All Trump's like, we don't need the Strait. We don't get oil. This. So why are we worried about the Strait? Worry about everyone else? No one's worried about us. When we went to war, nobody came to our side, right?
Yeah,
You
that's right. So
know?
there's a few things in what you're saying. I just want to like step back a little bit. And we had a 6 week stretch from April to May where the Nasdaq went up 33%. Since then the Nasdaq has been down. The markets have been incredibly choppy. There has been no trend anywhere. Any trend you see lasts a maximum of 48 hours.
Right.
So there's no, whether it's a trend in price trend or a trend in trading strategy, where you can sit on a type of trading strategy and just print money, that's gone over the last couple of months. So yeah, you don't hear anything about AI or anything like that. I mean, what happened to this 33% rip in Nasdaq that we saw over a 6 week stretch? Was that all just is that all prone to complete reversal?
Dude,
Uh,
we barely reversed any of it. I mean, we reversed 4% or whatever. I mean, now the 30% move, I mean, that's what you're thinking is a reversal.
well,
That's the
where do you
problem.
see the market
You know,
at the end of the
that's
year?
what I'm going to tell you is the problem with the thinking that you have and maybe the thinking that the marketplace has. You think a big move is 1%, half a percent, you have one index, the NASDAQ, moving 2% every day. Okay, every day, up, down, sideways, backwards. And then around that you have the utility index, which is the S&P 500. Okay, the S&P 500 is like a utility. It barely moves. A big move is 1%. We didn't get a 1% day yesterday. I don't know when. You know, um, you know, uh, that's you know that's what I see. So you have a tale of two markets. You have you know you have macro clues looking really negative in my book. I mean, I don't know what you're seeing.
Yeah, they've been negative. It's not like they just turned negative overnight. They've been negative. It's just that the
All
market
right,
has
they've been
been going up.
hanging around. Why negative? Why do you say that? They didn't just turn negative. You say they've been negative, but that's not true. Oil traded into the 60 handle. you know so now oil is the 90 handle. That's a third up. That puts inflation raging again. Okay, so inflation is raging again with $87 oil. Okay, now we're going to throw the wild card that we talk about every day, which you know is a slow moving trade, but now you know where the yield is.
Which one?
464. Okay, on the way to 470 or 475, and then on the way to 5. And then when are you going to wake up? You're going to wake up with 5% yields on the 10-year and think that the market can hold up? I mean,
I'd add credit spreads are incredibly tight right now. Very tight, historically tight. So that's another one that could start to add to the macro picture at some
I
point.
don't know. You came on, you talk about BDC, you talk about all these other things, and they come up for an hour and a day and then they disappear. Okay. And then tomorrow is a whole new day with a whole new spin. And this is the market we're in. You know it. You know it. Yesterday was jam up, jam everybody out. And today is smash them down, see where the gamma lives. Does it live another 200 point? I mean, listen, I know you don't think the Nasdaq's down a lot, but we're coming in down a percent. Okay, after going up 1.8 yesterday. Okay, the day hasn't even begun, and this is where we sit. And it's funny, the S&P wants to go green. The S&P wants to go up. I don't even know how or why, but it wants to go up. You don't see that.
I see that. Yeah.
It's
I'm
like,
actually for right now, right this second. I think it's a pretty good setup to try to take the long side here and fade these overnight move. That's how I'm
alongside
positioning
of
right
what?
now. the market.
Well, that didn't work yesterday. But it only works on the long side. If you faded the move yesterday's opening, you got your face ripped off.
I
You
bought a
know,
little bit of Nasdaq here, so let's see.
I don't like Nasdaq at all. You know, I can't even come up with one reason yesterday why it went up. 2%. Maybe chips in
Well,
Asia.
well,
You
that was.
know,
I mean, Seagate went up 10% plus. Micron was up a ton. They got right
Dude,
back into.
Micron isn't even a stock. Micron is a gambling tool that it could be a sports game. Okay, it's a gambling tool. That's all Micron is. Micron is down 5% today. Okay, after going up 10% yesterday. What changed overnight? Nothing. Nothing.
Exactly. That's my
They-
point.
But
Not
it's a
much has
gambling
changed.
chip. So you're guessing. You might be right, but you're just guessing. There's nothing here. I mean, come on. Micron traded the day before at 850, and now it traded almost 1,000. Okay, on an 850, it's almost up 20% off the low in 2 days. This is what you want to trade? I'm just saying, it's just gambling.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
Oh, look at you! You're stopped
yeah.
out, son. Blip,
I'm not.
blip, 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 blip.
What's going on? Donald J. Trump
Dude,
saying
what's
something.
going on? Dude, what's going on for me to you is a lack of respect to the market. That's what's going on with you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Lack of respect. You think a 30-point move in SPOOs is massive.
Well, if volatility is saying that there's basically no volatility, right? If the volatility market is saying everything is okay, you got to play the playing field. Why would you expect an outsized move when VIX is at the bottom of is at the low end of the entire move here? What the market isn't perceiving any kind of macro
Eric, because
fires.
VIX can move 25% in one day or even double in one day. I've seen. Okay. VIX is an unreliable tool. It moves after the fact. Okay. I don't know. What's going to get Vic? Okay, so right now I don't know what the fake tweet was or whatever, but it's Trump's going to wreck them. They're
Well, what
done.
happened? Then Nasdaq is right back to where it was before whatever he tweeted. So,
Eric, I have no idea. I mean, whatever. Who knows? It's you're dude. It moved.
you guys are.
I could just say this. I could just say this. Okay, you're just reacting to whatever it is.
Nah, I
Okay.
think you got. I think you're reacting like it's like a cat looking at a ball of yarn. Oh, a tweet. Oh, there's that. There's nothing going on.
Oh wait, here's the tweet. You ready? It's awesome, dude. This is just showing how powerful your president is. You ready? When the Islamic Republic of Iran shoots a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, we'll bomb a bridge. Oh, wow. We're going to bomb a bridge. We're going to bomb a bridge or a power plant. Wow. Eric, that's amazing. Dude, it hasn't worked in 12 nights. We're going to hit a bridge, Eric. We got him. We got him. You think this makes sense?
It's the
Honestly,
day
do
to
you think
day.
it makes
It's
sense?
the.
I'm asking you
I just think
honestly.
it's the usual. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to make sense or anything. I
What
think we're
I'm
past
saying
that.
is, why are we
Past that
bombing
point
them?
from a long time ago.
Eric, why are we bombing them for the 12th night? Why can't we do what we need to do in one night? Why do we need to bomb them for 12 nights? Why can't we go in there like we did when we hit Iraq, okay, and decimate them in one day, okay? You know why? Because Trump can't handle it. He can't do it. He can't do it. He will never do it. And you know what? The enemy knows that. Let me ask you a question. The United States is the greatest military force in the world, okay? What country could we not take out in 5 nights, 3 nights? Dude, he's throwing up four bombs into the sand. Okay, it's a joke. It's an actual joke. And you know what? Between me and you, he has no out. No out. Okay, no out. What's the out? Think about the embarrassment. We sent what's his name, Vance over there 3 different times. We had an MOU, we had everything, and nothing matters. You're dealing with people that don't care, dude. Do you understand? You can bomb them for 40 nights. They don't care, right? So what's he going to do?
I think this is a protracted war until at least until the midterms, and then we'll see what what happens then. But every time there's a calming down over there, Iran does something. Every time oil gets low enough, I think they're going to do something, and I don't think they're afraid. So if
You're
that's
so worried, dude. You're so worried about what they think in oil on a daily basis. That's what you think they're thinking. I mean,
not
come
on
on,
a daily basis, but I thought
Eric. They
it was
sold
rather
so much
interesting that
oil. They
with
sold
oil
so
at
much
70, they
oil.
started breaking the MOU.
Dude, they sold so much oil. Do you understand? We took the embargo off them. They were able to sell oil in the open market, millions and millions of barrels. Okay, I don't know why we did it, but they made more money in 2 weeks than they made in 10 years. Okay, so I don't know. They don't care about the price of oil today or any day.
Listen,
So
you had a long career. You've traded through a lot of wars. Anything like this, where things just kind of, you have a ongoing war. You have the macro picture pushing up rates because of higher
um,
oil price, and the
no,
market.
usually I would say usually in a war that I've traded, any of the wars, rates would come down. They buy bonds in a flight to quality just because they wanted to be out of equities and in bonds. Okay. So you would see a stronger bond market, lower rates. Okay. You would see them buying gold, in protection against the war. It never worked. But listen, you're in a different world, in a different market. This is a computerized mania. Okay. And I think you have to admit it, computerized mania. And it's trained you and I to do what you just did live on the air about 4 minutes ago. Okay, which was freak out on an $8 spoon move. What the hell happened? So hey, that's the new market. You sit here, you wait for fake news to move the market, um, and then you basically decide or react off of that.
Well, it's in it. That's why I think as a trader, you have to position in a way where you don't get stopped out so easily. People on the chat are saying, well, that little blip got me stopped out, as they know I got into the Nasdaq. I didn't get stopped out because my position is small enough where I could sit through it. I'm penciling in at least a 50-point move for any kind of stop out, precisely for this kind of
Well,
thing.
then you got stopped out because we
I
moved
did
more than
not.
50.
I'm still in
Well,
it.
we moved more than 50. We moved more than 50. I'm telling you, I'm looking right at it. We moved 70 points off that move. Okay, so your stop is in infinity land. Okay, that was a 50 point down, a 70 point down move
Okay.
on that move.
I'm all right
I'm
on
just
the.
telling you.
Well, it's right back, isn't it? So
I understand, but they're asking if you had a stop where it was, and you would have gotten stopped out because the Nasdaq went down. It went down to down. It was down when we got on the air 280, and it went down to down 360. It went down 80 points from there to the low. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Who
I think I'm
cares?
actually going to add a little bit here.
Why? What's getting you so bullish?
Fake breakdown.
Eric, you're trading an index that is down 275 points. You think that's nothing. If you average these moves over the year, you're talking about a market moving 300% during the year, up and down, not including intraday moves. I know
Well, if
you
you
don't
think
see
there's
it.
nothing going on today, then why do you want to hit the hole here? Why aren't you looking for?
What are you talking about? Who said I said nothing's going on? I told you yesterday when I was beyond angry, okay, because you were even more crazy arrogant than you were today, okay, about this, that the macro picture is horrendous here. Horrendous. And I think the wild card is what I said, that nobody is talking about AI. No one is talking about AI. No one, because there is none. Okay, but they're waiting to build out data centers. Okay, so whatever. Um, I'm not saying anything's going to happen from here. But why can't the Nasdaq be down 500 today? It was up 500 yesterday for no reason. Why can't it be down 500 today? Why are you so confident that it's not going
Well,
down?
the way that they got back into hardware, the way that they got back into Micron, I think there were a lot of technical levels
Well, why can't Micron go down a lot
recaptured
more?
recaptured there. So I don't think they're
Eric,
just going to give it up in a
the
day.
chart of Micron looks like Mount Everest. Okay, it looks bigger than Everest. It's the biggest parabolic straight up move that I've seen in a 2-year chart that I've ever seen. Okay, the stock was $100. Okay, now it's 900. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's going to move. I couldn't tell, I'm going to come on here today and I'm going to tell you that I don't know what's going to happen. The question is, there's always cheats. Cheats may have the earnings. So if they have the earnings, the market will get weak on the close. Okay. If the earnings are okay, maybe I think the earnings are not going to be great. I mean, they're going to be good on the surface, but the move forward will not be that great.
32-point straddle. What do you think? Not that high.
Um,
Not that high.
no, I mean, come on, just pull up a bunch of these charts. Pull up Google. I mean, these things are parabolic, dude. Parabolic moves. I mean, you don't see this as parabolic, like, and I don't know what's going on with the AI. What's going on with the build out. I know they're building them all over. I mean, isn't it a clue to you that Facebook is selling equipment because they have extra and they don't need it? Isn't that a problem? Or renting it out?
I do think that's a problem. But you talk about the fake company Moonshot from Friday. You look at the market. So what since that announcement, you had hardware, memory go up on the news, and the hyperscalers are lagging behind. That to me kind of makes sense because you're going to have more competition, more demand for memory, for chips, for hardware, but the margins on the hyperscalers is going to have a lot of competition pushing it down. So from that point of view, that kind of all makes sense, and I think we'll hear more and more news from companies like Moonshot coming out with models that are competing with Opus and Fable at a cheaper price level. So for right now, within the index, this is kind of what I'm seeing over the last 3 days.
Well, what I'm seeing that's important for people to see is oil. Oil is a problem. Okay. It's back to 90, basically. There's no end in sight. We're going to bomb them for the 18th straight night of hitting a sand dune. Okay. I mean, what is the out? What is the game plan? We're just going to hit them every night a little bit. We're going to hit a power plant, or
Exactly. You said
what's the point? What's the point?
that's what it is. Tit for tat. That's what we're gonna have. No real
Tit for tat,
escalation, but enough
bro.
to keep the headlines rolling.
Bro, are you a Yankee fan?
I wish I was.
Okay. So anyway, this is like the Yankees playing a little league team in Brooklyn. Okay. It's a joke. They shouldn't even have the game. Like, what are we doing? They don't have anything supposedly, except they have everything. It's ridiculous. So anyway,
Let's
here
talk
we
about
sit.
some of your war stories. You like to criticize traders a lot. You've managed traders a lot. Um, what kinds of trader like is there a personality type that you've seen from winning traders, from losing
Well,
traders
it's
that
funny.
stuck
So
out?
I probably managed, I don't know, 500 traders over my career. Um, Obviously, the game is different. Back then, it was real and true. Now it's fake and algorithmic, and you're trading against my son's friends who went to MIT,
Hmm.
who know nothing about stocks or the market or fundamentals or anything. They just program a video game and they hope they you know have it all figured out. They actually know nothing about stocks. They know nothing about the market. They're just in a backroom programming. So the market
Okay.
has certainly changed. But back in the day, what I would look for, what I always thought a great trader would be someone that was a great athlete, either professionally or just in general.
Hmm.
I thought that, along with being very, very smart, but not too smart, um, you know, like kind of like you, um, not too smart. So, but I always tried to find it, and it was very, very difficult because I think there was something else involved, and that was like innate talent of understanding. Like I could figure out the market before there was an algo that was like an algo. So it was easy for me to cue in today. I come into work and I'm like, okay, the market is focused on the yen versus the dollar, and it's focused on the bond market. And all day we would be watching that, and the market would move off that. Now, as you know, it's all fake clues, right? They give you the fake clue. They'll take bonds, lower and yields up, up, up. You
I
can't
don't
get
think
that.
I don't think they're fake clues. I think there's more of a lag now than there was back then.
Fake,
Back
total
then, it
fake.
would react immediately. Like you would walk into work and you would look at clues and act accordingly. Now I think it's there, but I think there are two lanes at the same time. You have
I
your
don't think it's two
algorithmic,
lanes. I
and
think
then
they
there's a
ignore
lag.
it. I think they're ignoring it. I think they're ignoring it. Okay. They
So,
don't
so you
care.
mentioned you mentioned the athlete, right? The guy who plays sports. Is that because of discipline? Is that a
No, I think
discipline
it was
thing?
more for aggressiveness. I don't think the discipline was the wild card piece. I will just give this disclaimer, and hopefully none of my old people are watching. I had guys playing sports at the highest levels, and these guys couldn't trade. They were either burned out from playing at a high level for so many years. I don't know. It was weird. So it was always hard to get a great trader, but you had to have a little bit of balls, but you also had to be scared. Like, so it's funny. Like, my makeup is I'm scared in real life of everything. Okay. I'm the guy driving in the right lane, 50 miles an hour on the highway. Okay. But in here, I feel fully confident about the risks that I'm taking. So, you don't want that guy that, like I could take crazy risk, right? And feel very comfortable with it. I
Hmm.
guess that comes over time, but I don't want the guy going 125, weaving lanes, trading my money. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard to really determine. And then, I have some crazy stories. Like I have traders that have like in the trading day, wigged out and like gone what we call on tilt. You know, there was a trader we had. We were on vacation. We used to, at the end of the year, we would wrap up the year 2 weeks before the end of the year. Like we would, we'd have our P&L solidified. We knew we were getting paid good bonuses. And then one day I'm away with my family and I'm getting a call from my S&P trader, the guy who was doing all my orders. And this freaking maniac was buying like 100 lots. And this is not the mini, this is the big. Buying 100 lots of bigs. Okay. So what are you? You're talking 5,000 minis, right? So it's, no, I'm sorry. What is it? 1 to 5, like 500 minis. Crazy, crazy deal. And the guy was blowing up. So I literally said to the guy, I'm like, listen, you're out. You got to give me your position. Let me trade it. Okay. So he had options, he had some futures. We get all the money back, Eric, everything back. The guy's now going to get a bonus. He's not getting fired. Literally, The next day, the guy did the same exact thing. This is what. So when you want to know stories, I mean, I won't say the guy's name on the air, but if he's watching, he knows who he is. But
Is that the fine line between being a professional trader and just being a degenerate gambler?
you know what? I don't even think this guy was no. This is a different market. Back then, maybe they had degenerate gamblers, but they were very few and far between. Now it's all degenerate gamblers. Dude, you know what it is. It's the ants. I'm not going to call them, Korean ants, American ants. I don't know. But these ants, listen, the whole market has changed. Okay. I'm going to call these people maggots. These maggots sitting in chat rooms trying to manipulate stocks all day, getting like 50 guys to run into the same stocks at the same time to move the market and hope you're the last guy, you're not the last guy, you know, trading, you know. Anyways, there's a question. What zero DTE do you like?
For today? For me, I guess that's a
Yeah.
question for me. Um,
Thanks.
Larry, out of respect, I'll let you have that first, and I'll answer after you.
I'm not doing anything. I'm actually traveling today. So I'm laying kind of low. Um, I had some upside call ratio spreads on the S&P. Um, they're I'm not going to call them dead because you never know in this market, but they're pseudo dead. They're ticking out here, and I don't really have anything. I mean, you're bullish out of your mind, so you'll go with the
I
long
wouldn't say
side.
out of my mind. I'm slightly bullish. I'm long Nasdaq
I know, but why?
and
What's
added a
giving
little
you a
bit about
bullish?
30 handles
What is
ago.
so bullish? Tell me what's so bullish. What
Hey
do you
Larry, it's working right now. Don't ruin it for me, please.
What do you
Don't.
mean? It's working, dude. It wasn't working when you didn't get stopped out when
I
you
actually
should
love
have.
trading with you.
Wait a second,
The more you
dude.
go at me, the
Wait
more
a
I add
second.
to the position.
I understand, but you said you had a 50-point stop and the Nasdaq
Dude,
went down
don't be
more
a
than
fade.
50.
Don't be a fade. Come on.
You said you traded for 50. You got to
So
trade
you,
it for
you have an
50.
answer for the for the
It
for the
went down
people or no?
70.
All right. So
Dude,
I guess you don't have an answer. I guess I'll give mine then. I'm
tell
looking
me.
at 74.50 put spreads as a level. I'm probably going to put that on right now. Going into the day, I was thinking Iron Condor. I actually put on a pretty big one right at the open, and then something didn't feel right. I got out basically at break even on the Iron Condor, but I think now is a much better time to do that. So I'd initiate a put spread 74.50 here, put spread, and then as the mark, I think the futures should tick up. As they tick up, I'd start selling call spreads, but I would definitely think the market will be more range bound today than anything major. I know we're at the bottom end of a potential range for zero DTE here. So at the moment, bullish at the moment as the if the market can move another 10 or 15 points closer
Bro.
to unchanged on the day. I think we'll go unchanged on the day, and I would put on a call spread. I'm thinking somewhere around 75.40. I think you could get like that's 85 cents right now, but I think that those call options should trade higher a little bit later in the day. So look for those areas right there. Basically playing off of the straddle of 30, 35 points, but waiting for a move.
Bro,
Not
you
putting
are,
on
you
the
know
iron
what?
condor in one shot, but I call it manufacturing the iron condor.
That's good info. Dude, you're very confident today. What I love about your confidence, I'm glad you didn't trade for me in my trading room. You're confident with the Nasdaq down
I'd be your number
200.
one trader, dude.
Wait a second. You're confident with the Nasdaq down 275. You're so confident. Okay. All good. I mean, the market's down 1%. You're confident. Okay. Maybe you might be right, but maybe you might be wrong. Do you actually have a stop in the market? I mean, honestly, it's the funny thing is I would be buying S&P over Nasdaq. Okay, I mean
Really?
it's just a better trade. way better. Nasdaq outperformed the S&P yesterday, and we're gonna wrap the pod right now. S&P outperformed. I mean, the Nasdaq outperformed the S&P by over 1.25% yesterday. Okay, so why would you want to be buying Nasdaq over S&P when the Nasdaq outperformed the S&P by 1.5% yesterday? I think you want to be long S&P and short Nasdaq. That's the trade I like here. Obviously, if we rip up, that'll start coming back a little. But like right now, as we get off the air, that spread is 54 basis points to the long S&P side. It probably has another, depending on if we go down, it could have another, 0.5%, or a third of a percent. So, I like that potentially. Keep an eye on oil. Maybe the market's getting a little bit of a bid here because oil just came off $1 almost.
Glad you see things my way, finally.
Dude, oh my God. you're unbelievable. You couldn't last a day at Spear Leads. Anyone that worked with me,
I'd always be right, and you.
Time out. Anybody that worked with me that's watching this podcast that was at Spear Leads, how long was Shamilov last at Spear Leads? Like an hour?
P&L talks, baby.
Dude,
I would let the P&L talk.
So...
You talk about a pure market. Like, how hard do you think? Like, if you have a semi non-retarded person, how easy is it to just say, okay, rates up, stocks down? All right, things like that. All these like traditional macro relationships.
Oh wait, so it should work the opposite. Rates
like
up,
it's harder to
rates
trade
up,
now than it was then.
Dude, whatever you say, dude. You're right. It was easy. You're right. It was easy. Trading was easy.
It was much easier than it is now.
That's why we went through 50 traders. You're right. Trading was easy. We went through 50 traders.
That's why Top Step and all these prop firms make money, because 99.9%
Eric,
of people.
The reason why you know what? We're getting close to the opening. The reason why Top Step makes money is a number of reasons. One is that most traders can't make money, and that's true.
Okay.
No. But two, they put a crazy, I don't trade on that. You do. I don't know how. They put crazy rules on it. You're like, I can't make a lot of money today. I'm not allowed to make a lot of money. I mean, what kind of business are you not allowed to make a lot of money?
I actually love those rules. I love those rules because they keep you nice and consistent.
Okay.
And they force you to think like an algo.
That's why they make $150 off you, and a million guys are failing.
Yeah, but how much am I making off them? You know the number.
All right, bro. Listen, dude, you're.
You know the number.
It's been 2 full days of me dealing with this. Thank God
you're not going to be here tomorrow. So you're
everyone watching, Clint will be on. We will have a level-headed mind on the podcast. So anyway, I wish whatever you're doing, maybe you're going to trading boot camp. Are you going to trading boot camp tomorrow? Is that why you can't be on?
No.
They're going to teach you how to trade tomorrow in trading boot camp, dude. Nothing is a guarantee. Listen, I'll leave it at this, okay? Nothing is a guarantee in trading. Things come into the market on a minute-to-minute, daily basis, whether it's you freaking out when the Nasdaq just went down 80 points off some fake tweet, okay? That can happen at any point in time. That's the impurity of the market. So what I'm suggesting to our subscribers is be careful. Make sure you're using real stops. I'm going to use the word real stops in the market so that you don't blow up. Because on that move that you kind of got bailed out on, okay, what if it was real? What if there was a tweet of something more real and we went down 50 points and the Nasdaq went down 500? What would you do? I know.
I'd cry on the air.
Exactly. I'd cry. Anyway, we're out. Peace, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow. Clint and I. Eric, enjoy your weekend. Hopefully the trading boot camp helps you out. Talk to you soon.